The job for today, I got to get the backhoe running. It's broke again, no surprise there. Got to get this tree cut up, pulled out of the way, because the mowers are coming to mow either tomorrow or Tuesday. And they're not going to mow anywhere around a tree that falls. They'll stay 10 feet away from it. And then this limb fell out of this big tree sometime in the last 2 weeks. So I got to pull it down and cut it up. See all that ivy on that tree? I don't know how that ivy is still alive. Some of it's fallen out, like right there is a piece coming out, but I went all around this tree with a chainsaw and I cut all the ivy everywhere. The ivy has to get its nutrients and water from the ground, so I cut all the ivy up. The base of the ivy is still growing, but I cut it right here. You can see where I severed it. I went all the way around the tree, and it's still growing up in the tree, and it's going to kill this tree. And that tree, I don't think it has too many years left anyhow. It's a really old tree, but I went all the way around here, cut all the ivy, you can see, and it's still growing up in the tree. I guess that the ivy probably grew into the tree and the bark grew over it, so the ivy is probably parasitic now. It's in the tree, I suspect. Anyhow, we got to pull this down, cut it up, throw it over the fence out there in the woods. And here's another problem we recently found. And this is really dangerous. I'm gonna have to do something about it. As soon as I get the backhoe working, I'm gonna have to come over here. That's sort of a, right down in there is sort of a washout area. We found this about a year ago, just haven't had time to deal with it. I put these tires around it, mostly to keep boys and kids from riding four-wheelers through the chicken house and coming out and falling into this, because that goes about 18 to 20 feet straight down. And even some of these tires I stacked around it have fallen off in there because the ground gave way. That's a drain pipe, that's not a sewer pipe. The end of this pipe's right here in this ditch. And that's a drainage ditch. So I don't know what I'm gonna do there, but I gotta fix it somehow. And I gotta cut all this grass. Our mowers won't cut the grass out here because they're scared of the limbs in the tree. And I guess they're justified, because if that limb fell, it would kill somebody. So anyhow, I gotta get the weed whacker out, clean this up. So let's get busy. Okay, Pioneer Designers, if you guys ever watch these videos, I wanna give you some constructive criticism. You need to put some toe points on this Pioneer. When I bought it, my dealer told me there were toe points, and there are not. You guys need to figure out a way to put some loops or something on some of these brackets or some of the chassis to have toe points on the front and the back so that you can lock down your Pioneer, something strong. Usually I end up roping my Pioneer around the frame right here or around this, and that's not really the best place to do it. I do it on the front and the back. On the front, I usually run a line right through here. I can't run it through here because of the sharp edge. I run it through here, or I tie it onto the front bumper. But you guys really need to put some toe points on the Pioneer. All right, let's get this tree hooked up, moved out of the way. That should do it. Okay, that didn't work so well. I broke the rope. That limb's connected up there a lot stronger than I thought it was. It's tied, you can't see it, but it's tied by some ivy vines up there. So let's hook it up, pull it the other way. Okay, that didn't work. I pulled it that way, then I backed up and pulled it uphill. Nothing. Those ivy vines are incredibly strong. But I think what happened is it got caught on that branch right there. You probably can't see it. Let's see if I can stop the camera and zoom in. Maybe you can get a better picture. See, the T in that branch that broke got caught on that limb right there. So I'm gonna have to push it back that way, or pull it back that way. So let's do that. Yeah, I want to make a point. If you're doing something like this and you're underneath the tree, a limb like that's called a widow maker because it'll make your wife a widow. You'll pull the limb and the limb will either break and it'll fall in a way that you didn't think it will fall, like an unpredictable direction, or it'll break another limb. And either way, you might get hit in the head. So just be careful if you're doing something like this. That's why I hooked it onto my Pioneer, so I could be far away from it when it fell. Alright, here's an example of what can happen. I cut this limb and it was under stress. This piece my son is pulling popped back and about hit me. So don't make that mistake. Make sure that you're protected and you're well out of the way if you're going to cut a limb like that. Because something like that, a limb as big around as my arm, can knock your teeth out or knock you down or knock you out. So just be aware of that. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so we got those limbs cut and I just about got hit again. What we're going to do now is hook the Pioneer up and pull the limb in that direction. Okay, I'm going to say this again. A limb like I'm pulling out of that tree may look like it's a simple job, but a limb hanging from a tree is unpredictable. You can't control which way it falls. Don't get underneath it and get caught and have it fall on you. And if you're sawing a piece off of it, limbs are springy. It could spring back and hit you in the head or somewhere else. Don't make that mistake. Get something like a Pioneer or a tractor. Get 30 feet away, hook a rope on or chain or something and pull it down. Don't get underneath it and cut it. All right.
Am I driving, you're cutting?
Yeah, you can drive. Put it in four-wheel drive and just go slow, okay?
What?
Put it in four-wheel drive and go slow. All right, let's do it.
Watch out.
I'm watching. All right, hold up. Okay, it's still stuck right there on that T. So we're gonna have to chop off some of these bottom limbs because they're dragging on the ground. Hey, don't do that while I'm over here with the salt. Okay, let's try and pull it loose again. I don't want to cut any more pieces off. It's just too dangerous to get down there underneath it. So what we're going to try and do is pull it in that direction. The problem is we have that washout over there I showed you a few minutes ago, and we can't pull that far. So we're just going to have to seesaw it back and forth until that guy finally decides to fall. This is a good opportunity to talk about rope just for a minute. You see this rope? This is a 3,000-pound rope. It's made out of nylon. Don't go to Walmart and buy a rope and hook onto a tree limb like this and try and pull it. What's going to happen is the rope is going to break off the tree limb and come back and hit you in the head, and it'll kill somebody. That's called the kill zone, right behind a vehicle that's towing another car or pulling a tree limb or something like that. Because if the rope breaks, it's going to slingshot back in that direction. Always get a good rope. This is a 3,000-pound rope. It takes, and it's broken pulling that limb. It takes a lot of force to break this rope. Let's go. All right, we got the rope hooked on.
Back up.
All right, keep going. All right, hold up. You're just tearing the ground up now. Okay, we re-rigged the rope to a bigger piece right there. So we're gonna try and pull the limb that direction. Okay, let's go. Put it in four-wheel drive.
It is.
All right, let's go. Slow. Awesome. Okay, you can stop. All right. Now we still have a dangerous situation because we have that limb hanging down, maybe hard to see, and it's been weakened because we've been pulling on it. So at some point we're gonna have to deal with that. I don't think it's gonna fall while we're trimming this up or tying this up though. You know what? Let's try and pull this out of the way. Crank up and see if you can pull it about 10 feet out. Let's see if we can get it out from underneath this limb hanging down. Yeah, there we go. Pioneer's a bad boy. Okay, that's good. All right, let's cut this puppy up.
Experience is the fun worth saying all days.
Hey, when you guys are underneath here, watch for those limbs. Okay, next tree. I want to show you, this is a Cub Cadet weed trimmer. It's about twice as strong as the strongest weed eater you can buy. It's got this really strong string on it. Okay, now that I've coughed for 5 minutes, let's try this again. This Cub Cadet is a great machine. It's got a spindle here. It doesn't have any front wheels. You pretty much let it rest on this. And the good thing about this is, unlike a lawnmower, this cuts a wider swath because you can cut side to side as you move forward, because it's got 2 wheels. It pivots real easy. And this thing will cut down that stuff that you can't cut down with a lawnmower. And sometimes maybe you just don't want to get your bush hog out, or get your tractor out and cut some of this stuff down, or you don't want to run your riding mower through it because you can't see what's hidden in the grass. So this Cub Cadet does a great job. So here's how this works. I hit a piece of metal that tore my string. This string is thicker than weed eater string. It's probably twice as thick as weed eater string. I really like this Cub Cadet. It's just a really good machine. Sometimes you got to get all the grass off of it, but you push your string in like that, push it back out like that, and then right here there's a little loopy thing. You put your string underneath that. Make sure both ends are about the same length. You push it down like that, and it's looped in real easy, and you can get back to work. So what I'm going to do is go ahead now and change both pieces of string, because I know as soon as I get back to work the other piece will break. This string gets beat up pretty bad cutting all those small saplings. So you push it through. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Push it through like that, pull it back through the same loop, and then hook it over the little hanger. You're ready to go. And don't litter. Always pick up your old string. I'm breaking my own rule. My big rule is always wear glasses. Something to protect your eyes. So just ignore the part of the video where I didn't have some sort of eye protection on, because sometimes I get in a rush and forget about it like other people do. Also, I want to make a point. The string on my Cub Cadet is strong enough to cut this. I hope you can see how thick this is. I'm going to cut it with a knife because I don't want to take the chance of breaking my string, because I'm out of string. I don't have any more. Okay, so back to work.